Namaste, it's the Spiritual Daywalker with your tarot card reading for this full moon phase. And this full moon is going to be in Aries. So Aquarius, there's going to be some wild conversations, probably impulsive, but in a good way because it is conjunct Chiron. So Chiron is dealing with the wounds we carry, right? So Aries is going to enable us to put them on the table, right? Put ourselves forward with this in a proud manner. So there's a lot of conversation material for an Aquarius to go deep into the truth, into what is moving people underneath, right? That's going to be very freaking interesting. We'll see what you realize about yourself in this, but it's going to be fun for you to be like having these profound conversations with the people around you. This is going to be very interesting. That being said, it is a general reading. If the message doesn't resonate with you, feel free to drop the message. If it does, drop a comment, like, and subscribe. Now let's see what we're getting into just before eclipse season. This is like the last chance to manifest before everything comes crumbling down and makes room for the new stuff, right? So let's see what these conversations are going to bring. And I feel like also, since Libra is conjunct the sun at the opposite of the sky, there is some connotation of how we deal with the people around us, especially for a very communicative sign like Aquarius is, like you are, right? My moon is in Aquarius, so I get it. I do get it. I do love talking about stuff, as you might have noticed. That's why I'm doing those videos. Now let's see in the DNA spread. The soul is coming into manifestation. See how this experience is going to unravel itself with the energies balancing around the spirit axis. Oh, it needs one more shuffle just because the gut says so. Oh, one more. And then we're good to go. That feels right. Yeah, it does. So in the soul spot, there's a Mother of Pentacles in reverse. Very interesting. The soul decided not to be that nurturing presence anymore, and not to sit around on your ass anymore. There are no bad cards in tarot, but especially in the soul spot, what your soul decided is wise. It's time to get out of this nurturing presence. And yeah, maybe is it tied to your mother? Not there. I feel like you have been holding a lot of space for a lot of people, and it's time for you to bring forth your own opinion in a sense, right? So to get active. That Mother of Pentacles is not exactly the fastest moving, right? She's sitting on her throne and letting her investments bring in the wealth, right? But she's not exactly moving. So in that soul spot, when the soul decided it's time to get out of that, that means it's time to be more active about something, right? It's like not being a bystander anymore, not just caring for other people, more caring for yourself, which is from time to time a very freaking good thing, right? So now let's see. In the spot of the 9, the energy this entire experience is revolving around. There's the 3 of Cups in reverse. That is interesting. I mean, like, people are gonna be sharing their emotions, just like I told you, right? But then there is always the question, what type of community do you want to share your emotions in, right? So it's gonna be probably challenging talking about those emotions, right? That's why it's delayed. That's why it's, well, like the core of your reading is talking out emotions, right? Maybe even a third party situation, we'll see. Well, not with 1-3 on the table. I'm not going to go there with 1-3 on the table, but giving up your nurturing role because somehow talking about those emotions is grinding your gears. You're like, okay, enough of this, right? I got some needs I need to fulfill, and I'm not like your emotional bouncing bag in a sense, right? Like, we'll see, we'll see. It doesn't have to be that defensive, but it seems since it's in reverse, you're getting out of this very beautiful energy, actually, right? But when you're getting out of this, of dealing with a Mother of Pentacles in reverse, that means not wanting to fulfill that nurturing role anymore. And you probably got some good reasons for that. Your Aquarius always got good reasons for everything, right? So let's see what you're manifesting in your experience right here in the spot of the 10, a 3 of Swords in reverse. That's a good card to have in reverse. It's getting yourself out of a mindset you've been stuck in. That's why it's often a card for heartbreak when you have a strong argument sitting with you cannot free yourself from, right? You're like, yeah, dealing with something that left a scar in your mind, right? And you're moving out of that 3 of Swords, right? It is in reverse. You're like, okay, I don't need this shit anymore. And it can also be that you're dealing with other people's heartbreak, right? So you don't want to be that shoulder to cry on anymore. It's like, guys, I get it. You've been hurt. We all have been. I'm kind of sick of it. Um, you know, and it's probably going to relate to you being a shoulder to cry on, being understanding for all your life. Now, like, you actually want to be understood, right? And you've been tackling that subject for the last few weeks, how to interact, what conversations to engage in, and it seems like you're making a decision how much of other people's shit you're going to take. By that, discovering your own heartbreak, in a sense, like cutting yourself loose from being, well, a buffer, right? um I mean, you are fixed air, right? So it's not exactly about emotions for you. It's more about understanding, can have the same effect, especially when there's a 3 of Cups in the middle in reverse, when you're like, okay, guys, shut the fuck up already, please. That kind of deal. So let's see what's getting you moving in the spot of the 1, the impulse you're getting. That's the Mother of Wands. That is, well, you shifting your energy from a Mother of Pentacles into a Mother of Wands. It's like you're not exactly reserved and holding space anymore. You're like, I deserve my own space. I'm sexy, attractive. I deserve it all. You need that go-getter attitude to feel good about myself right now. Fuck that shit. That's that Aries energy coming in where you're like, you know what? I need to be understood, and I need people that get what I'm saying, right? Not just like want to understand me, not just like feel into the situation. No, I want them actually to understand the words I'm using. I don't want to dumb the message down for people that are not as intellectual. I want to have some profound conversations that inspire me, for fuck's fucking sake. That's that kind of energy when it hits the Aquarian radar, right? So let's see in the spot of the 2 how you balance that energy out, or what is kind of taken away from that a little, like, well, not taken away from it, like channeling it, let's say. There's a Wheel of Fortune in reverse. Had that a few times. Wheel of Fortune popping up a lot in those readings. Also a lot in reverse. For me, it's the feeling of having to overcome a situation, right? And by your own might, right? It's not that the universe is going to fix it for you. In your perception right now, you're going to fix it. You're going to take your fire energy and going, like, you're in that go-getter attitude. You're going to fix it. Like, you don't want to wait for the universe to fix it, because it's not going to happen. It's not happening. You've been holding space and whatever, and you don't want that shit to rub off on you, right? And maybe it did a little. Maybe that passion that people were displaying when they were like loading off on you, that's like you're taking that on a little. Maybe that's what's getting you into that energy yourself, where it's like, now it's my time. Now it's my turn to, take that space, take the stage, right? And that Aries energy coming in, it's like it's giving you fire, right? It's giving you that passion. Now, what do you realize from that Wheel of Fortune in reverse, which is the universe? Well, you're not exactly trusting the universe to work for you here, which is good because it's enabling, and empowering in a sense. It forces you to trust your own energy here, which there's a lot of, right? since it's kind of an answer to that energy, it could also mean that when you're going overboard with this energy, the world's not going to exactly react well to this. We're going to see in the spot of the three what you're making of this, these energies balancing, what you're realizing in what direction to go. A Seven of Wands in reverse, that's a card for not wanting to fight anymore, right? Like, even if you have to stand alone, at least you're standing, that kind of energy, you know? And like, since it's in reverse, well, I had that card before in another reading, and it felt like, okay, I don't want to fight anymore. For you, I have to revise that, because you're kind of struggling standing up for yourself here. Even coming from that Mother of Wands, you're still like, you're dealing with that energy, asking yourself whether or not to make a fuss about it, you know, or maybe just leave, right? I mean, you don't have to fight, you don't want to fight, so you might as well just leave, move sceneries, whatever, not engage, right? Um, but you love convincing people, though, right? If they see your reasoning, even if you're coming from a very passionate place, it's always about reasoning, right? It's always about the truth, right? And honoring that truth. So very freaking interesting. You probably felt lonely in that mother role right here, where you were like, yeah, I'm always like, always trying to understand everyone, and then everyone else is just trying to dump their shit on each other, and you're like, I don't want to engage in this anymore. You feel like the only one like shedding some light on the situation, and you're kind of done with this energy. You don't want to fight the universe for it. You don't want to fight for people to understand you, that kind of deal. Like, you don't want to fight, but at a certain point, it's still tough for you to stand up for yourself in a way. And you're asking yourself whether you actually have to, right? You know, whether you actually have to stand in front of people like, you know what, I'm sorry, but I'm really not fucking interested. Or, you know, what's up with me is like, I have this and that problem. I like you. Huh, bugs are falling. I have June bugs in my room. I believe they're breeding here. I like June bugs. Never mind. However, you are still coming from that energy where you're asking yourself, well, that's a realization you're having where you're asking yourself, do I have to fight for this? Like, who's the right person to load myself off to? Is there someone that can actually understand me? Well, you found someone along the way. You found some people along the way, just judging from the other readings. And we'll see in what situation you are in right now. I feel like you're very much fed up with yeah, being that emotional buffer, or like that understanding person that holds space for everyone. Fair enough. You feel kind of betrayed by that, and probably you're manifesting a situation where you actually feel betrayed or not valued, right? Very interesting. Let's see in the challenge row surrounding that community card in reverse, in the spot of the four, that thing that gives you a sense of stability, that is temperance, that is healing, right? And balance. Well, wait, is that no, star is Aquarius, right? The star is Aquarius. What is temperance again? What energy is temperance? Oh yeah, that's a big fucker. That's a June bug. Guys, you need to get out of here, really. Never mind. The healing taking place is giving you a sense of stability, like knowing that it's for the better, but also like, it's more about the balance, right? Like, balancing yourself out, knowing that you can't always be on that one side. There is a time for you to be in that energy, and that gives you a sense of stability. You know all the sides, you are wise, right? And and you are all like, you are open to healing, available for that truth. Like, this is like a very honorable energy to base yourself upon. It's like you're committed to finding out that truth, for healing, right? For growing on a soul level. That is it's a very profound. It almost feels like a hierophant for you in that situation, but it's more profound than a hierophant. Is less restrictive, it's more open, right? Temperance is like, okay, tell me what I have to tackle next, and be honest, I can take it. That kind of, you know. Also coming from that Wheel of Fortune, right? Like, even if it seems like adversity, you can fall back on the idea that it's good for something, and that you're able to take it, whatever it is. That's a good thing. On the other side, balancing that energy in a sense, in the spot of the five, the thing that is causing friction in your life, stirring things up, and probably because you initiated it, we'll see. That is a Six of Swords in reverse. Yeah, well, you having to move towards some place where your mindset and your way of thinking is nurtured, right? So it can be a card for travel. Six of Swords can be a card for travel, but it means getting into a different headspace and a different environment, a different like information system, so to speak, right? Next to a Three of Cups in reverse, it basically says move on to the next conversation, into a like a reality where conversations are actually interesting, right? If you feel like you're always holding space for other people's bullshit, and you've actually, I know that feeling of like understanding a situation so much better than the person that is in that situation, but still having to honor their experience, honor their feelings, even though you think it's kind of petty. You know, we're like, God, can't you see this is like this and that and this and that? But actually, you cannot. You try to tell them in a soft way, but you're trying to provide clarity here, but it's not exactly giving you anything from a certain point on. It's just you being confronted with petty problems that are not exactly having the depth that you need. And your healing's gonna mean like physically moving into, I mean, it's not exactly physically, like it's air energy, right? But it's taking your mind to where it's being nurtured, right? So in different conversations, in a different place, maybe even a different part of society, you know, that would be the travel part, right? But this is you realizing it's time for a change. Like, if this is, if all I am to them is a Mother of Pentacles in reverse, where I'm like, I don't actually feel joyful for being able to be there for them, whatever. And I don't mean that in a stuck up way. It's just you realizing I need more depth, and I need maybe not even emotional depth, but I need people that kind of want to find out what it is about, and want to talk about it, and want to find fancy words to describe it, to get closer to that truth, that have exactly that ambition, right? Determination to find out what it is, and to be able to put it into form, in form of words and thoughts, and like deal with that shit. Like, inspiring people for an air sign, right? And if you find yourself in a community where it's all just like feeling and sharing, you know, but no one actually uh, like comes around with an aphorism for it, it's like, okay, so this is what we learned, bam, like this is the wisdom we gain, bam. No, it's always like just like sharing your feelings, and then sitting together and crying, and that's a good thing. You get the concept, I know you understand, but then you're in the room with a lot of people that think understanding is misleading, right? And you need to quiet your mind to meditate. You don't have to quiet your mind to meditate, right? That's bullshit. You have to realize the distance between you as the observer and your thought mechanism, right? and then you can evaluate your thoughts in a different way, but you don't have to quiet your mind, especially not especially not if that mind is so capable and strong as yours, right? So that is the thing. You actually have to move to where your mindset is appreciated, where the depth and the, well, yeah, bro, where the depth of the way you express is uh, is actually appreciated. That's a big fucker right there. Don't go under the bed. I'm not getting you. Probably they're breeding under that bed, huh? I don't know. I've been in this room for like 2 days now, and I don't want to kill them. Why are you so fucking stupid? What is up with you, man? You can't fly? You're not supposed to roll around on your back, bro. Whatever, man. Well, it's Bali. There's animals everywhere. You gotta get used to it, right? Now the cool thing is you throw something out, like if it's organic, you just throw it in the garden. Ants and snails are gonna come eat it away in just a few hours. Like no fucks given. It's really amazing what nature does here, how it handles it. Lovely. Back to your reading though. You were about to realize that you need something that is like intellectually nurturing and no harm to other people and no judgment at all. It's just like, come on, guys, really, you know, I do need a little more than that, and that's okay. That's okay for you to decide like that. Now let's see how you're manifesting this, how you're manifesting getting out of the situation or dealing with that through your swords right here. Because somewhere along the line, you're probably manifesting someone that is not exactly showing their appreciation for how you've been there for them. That's how this Three of Swords would make a lot of sense, and also that Mother of Wands would make a lot of sense. Where you're like suddenly you're in that energy of like, okay, this was enough, you know, and that usually comes from a trigger. And the trigger, like a Three of Swords, is like, okay, fuck that shit, I'm out of here. Like if this is what how you want to treat it, now let's see how you're actually manifesting that. In the spot of the Seven, that is the thing that gives you a sense of identity in that situation where you like where you are attached to in a sense, and that is the Ten of Pentacles in reverse. Attached to a Ten of Pentacles in reverse with that Temperance above it. Hmm. Hmm. Are you are you not thinking that happiness is achievable? Are you that skeptical? Like that caught up in intellectualism that you think, you know what, it's not going to happen anyway? And you call it realism? Is that the case? Could that be it? Because if your identity is wrapped around the Ten of Pentacles not working out, it's either coming from a family situation that has not exactly worked out, or like something that made it hard for you to believe that happiness to the fullest is on the table with family and legacy and money and all. Somehow, it's not the same as like the Cancer reading I had recently for the new moon, where like, was it Cancer? Maybe, yeah. Where the idea of like being an artist was ultimately linked with being broke. It's not exactly the same. But it has a sense of pragmatism to it. You know, if the Ten of Pentacles is in reverse in a spot that is determining your identity, that is like, well, you kind of given up dreaming big. Why? Why have you given up dreaming big? Maybe because a lot of people have shared a lot of bullshit and shattered dreams with you. It's been kind of rubbing off on you. Could be it. Um, Maybe because something didn't exactly happen. Like this is that heartbreak, right? So the heartbreak you're feeling is not exactly coming from a person, but rather coming from the universe. that Wheel of Fortune in reverse, and that sense that, you know what, I rather dream small so I can achieve it than dreaming big and failing, because it's been shown to me in the past that it hurts, right? Fair enough. It is a way. It's like a proper philosophical school. Is it sophistic? I don't know anymore. It's been too long, me studying philosophy. That was like years and years ago. Nevertheless, like, I get it. I get where this is coming from. What is really taking you into abundance in the spot of the 8, that is a different energy. Why are you flipping it around? There's a I'll show you the card. The 9 of Swords, really? The card for overthinking and being stuck in painful thoughts? That is your card for abundance? How the fuck am I supposed to interpret that? I mean, an abundance of that kind of energy. Ooh, ooh, that's not what you want, right? However, I mean, you are fixed air. You're like the core of the element, right? So the 9 of Swords is not the same for you as it is for someone else, like a Cancer or even a Leo for that matter. Like, it's not the same. Okay, Cancer is the cardinal. What's the fixed water sign? Scorpio, right? It's not the same. Like, you're dealing way better with the 9 of Swords. But because you're constantly in the 9 of Swords, right? Maybe not as like a Gemini or whatever, but you are, right? You are thinking a lot. However, I mean, like a 9 of Swords facing a 10 of Pentacles in reverse, and then coming from that Mother of Pentacles in reverse. That is either a mother figure that has planted some shit in your consciousness, right? Not exactly. Doesn't have to be your mother. Can be someone else that was supposed to be nurturing and just giving you a false sense of success, like on your way, right? Can be a teacher or whatever, like whatever authority figure, however they call them. Not too big of a fan. No, you're that 9 of Swords is like you being stuck in your head, and I kind of get the sense that it's not all your bullshit, right? So it's that mediator thing again. Was it you? I believe it was you, right? The 9 of Swords giving you a weird like abundance. Like, usually abundance is associated with pleasure. It doesn't have to be though. Like an abundance of that kind of energy is a lot of stress. You are able to handle that stress very well because you're good with your mind. However, that the 10 of Pentacles is in reverse in the spot of the 7, and the 9 of Swords is upright in the spot of the 8, coming from 3 of Swords in reverse. That is like, ouch. That is almost giving up hope. Why? Why? What has happened here? I mean, like, it almost seems like you're going up, not down, right? So, well, it's both. It's always both. Like, the soul decides that it's time to make the change and then manifests an experience to confirm that and learn that lesson and integrate it. So you're basically coming into manifestation and then coming back up again, right? So through this experience in manifesting here, which seems to be like semi-pleasant, I mean, you're strong with swords, but you got a 3 of Swords and a 9 of Swords on the table in the manifestation. So there's like stressing out a lot and probably about other people's bullshit, or you're stressing out a lot and the bullshit that people give you about it when you want to share it is just like, stop overthinking. Fuck you, really. You can't tell a thinker not to overthink. That's what they do, right? You have to have compassion with how they think, for fuck's fucking sake. So This is what you're manifesting here. Is like, it's not going to happen anyway. I'm kind of stuck in my thoughts right here. Um, but I kind of get the sense that it's not all your thoughts. I mean, like, there's a lot of stuff you're taking on from other people that are kind of not willing to think about it, and then you're thinking about it for them. You're kind of clearing that meta level of the experience for them because they're not working that way. And, well, you might not feel into them like that, but you're thinking about them a lot. It's not only your pain, right? But the 3 and the 9, I mean, they're also connected. And the fact that you don't believe in that 10 of Pentacles happening, or it could be that this 10 of Pentacles is not happening, that like you're thinking a lot about your family situation, and there's a mother up there, you know, and why it didn't happen, like, or why it's so tough to reunite, something like that, right? And it's in the spot of the 7 because like you're almost expecting it to like not happen, not come together, right? And with that, you're kind of manifesting it. I'm sorry to have to give you to like that kind of like the energies and manifestation are tough. They're sending you right into that fuck that shit, I'm out of here energy, right? Like this is enough, right? And it would make sense with family that the 6 of Swords is in reverse because it's tough to move away from family, right? or or people you love for that matter, or people that love you, right? The people that love you don't really understand you. They're not nurturing from a certain point on, and that's not easy to move away from that. So um, that could actually be it. Now, I'm not telling you to just drop it all and leave whoever you're with, or like never call your family again. No, 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 no. It's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that Chiron, the wounded healer, is probably bringing to light an issue with your family situation, with the idea that you have about success and that long term legacy kind of success, right? So it could be like a family reunion gone wrong where you're like, fuck. Then you're thinking about them, thinking about their problems, and thinking about their problems. You're thinking about your own problems with the problems you have with with this entire situation. That is like painful thoughts. And I'm not telling you to quit those painful thoughts. That's not it. It's not going to work. I don't believe it's going to work. Just like not have those thoughts. You have to eliminate the source, right? You have to move somewhere where you have like a nourishing environment to have different thoughts, right? You're not just gonna stop overthinking. What like this maybe the dumbest thing I ever heard as a spiritual advice, right? Stop overthinking. Quiet your mind. It's like it's not gonna fucking work like that. You have thoughts that are questions that demand an answer. Like it's almost like it gets kind of gross. I'm missing a word here, but it's like someone telling you to just stop it. It's like, if I was able to stop it, don't you think I would? You know, like, what a fucked up advice is that? So, no, it's not gonna help to just quiet your mind. Right? Meditating, grounding yourself, it does help to get you in a different frequency. So, the quality of thought is changing. Yes, it does help, right? But it's not that you're shutting down your mind. That's not what it's about. What it is about, though, is getting yourself in an environment where your quality of thought actually has the opportunity to change, right? That is the 6 of Swords, right? You realize, okay, I got to do something about this. I cannot engage in this anymore. I want to believe that there's more on the table than what is happening here with that 10 of Pentacles being delayed. Because the 10 of Pentacles is there. You actually want to believe in that energy. There's something that's making you doubt that and delay that, right? Because it's not exactly worked in the past. Like there's some heartbreak you're dealing with, right? So it didn't work for you or didn't work for someone else that was a role model for you, and that's why you kind of stuck with that energy. Now let's see in the spot of the 6 what you're actually gaining from this experience. That seems to be a little stressful, but reaping rewards, let's say. In the spot of the 6, there's a judgment in reverse. Yeah, well, that is you knowing you have to make adjustments. That is you knowing you have to make a judgment call here. That's not an easy decision, right? It's not an easy decision, but it's about setting yourself free. In the spot of the 6, in the spot of the 3, you have to, there's also like a little lonesomeness, like fending off other people's bullshit, standing up for your ideas. Just, I mean, look at those cards, how like similar they are, right? It is similar. It is a similar energy. And they're both in reverse, which makes sense coming from a Mother of Pentacles. And here in your identity, there's that 10 of Pentacles in reverse, where it's like, I get a strong family vibe. And that's also a community that you cannot exactly choose, but that is, well, they're together for different reasons, right? Because you cannot choose them. It's not exactly friends, it's family. And though that is a beautiful thing, like, well, how do you say blood is thicker than water or whatever? Is that right? I don't know. Adel verpflichtet, blue blood, blah, whatever. That family connection is a beautiful thing. I'm not hating on it, but it seems to stress you out very much so. And if it's not your family situation, it might be your idea of family, of like maybe one day having a family your own. And if you think that could, like, that might not happen, that 100% is related to the family situation that you're coming from, right? Because whatever it is, it didn't work out, or it's not something you wanted, so you just like clear it off the table. Feel heartbroken for it, all right, but you're able to manage the thoughts that come with it. So you're kind of like, you're hanging in there just a little longer before realizing that you have to set yourself free. There are some adjustments that have to be made, and are probably tied to this, to the 6 of Swords that is demanding you to move somewhere where your air energy is cherished, where your ideas are cherished, your way of arguing, right? Your, let's say, scientific method, um, right? Because you cannot argue with the Mother of Wands. You won't. You cannot argue with that. And because you realize that, that's why you're taking on that energy yourself right now. You're like, if you don't want to argue, I don't want to argue anymore. Fuck you, right? It doesn't have to be that defensive, but seeing the energies that you're manifesting here, it probably is quite impulsive. When that Aries kicks in, and that Aries full moon, right? And the Libra is conjunct the sun on the opposite of the sky. So Libra is, is it Libra? Yeah, it's Venus, I believe, right? Venus conjunct the sun, or the sun in Libra. It was something about that. It was something about the family issue, how we deal with relationships in our life, being part of that constellation. Don't want to like get too deep into bullshit I only know half of, but it is in there, so it doesn't surprise me that it's a lot about how you stand in front of all these thoughts and perceptions about what success means. And you feel quite alone in this, even though it's all somehow connected to your community. That 3 of Cups in reverse. where you feel like it's not exactly the right community to share your own emotions with, even though you're coming from a Mother of Pentacles in reverse. And being more and more in that family narrative, it's probably not a coincidence that you got two mothers right behind each other, right? So there's a Mother of Pentacles in reverse, and then that Mother of Wands, right? So the Mother of Pentacles, the one that is pretending to nurture, is actually quite a narcissist. And that's why this energy of the Mother of Pentacles is upside down, because it wasn't exactly real, right? Mother of Pentacles in reverse, that is someone that whose love is conditional, right? They're doing it, but they expect something back. They expect like honor or whatever, or expect you to do this and that for it. And if you don't, then they'll be all Mother of Wandsy and be like, but I did this and that for you. Like, yeah, but you did it because you wanted it, right? But doesn't that mean anything to, like, this kind of energy, right? And it seems like you are now fighting fire with fire, in a sense, which is good from a certain point on. I mean, like, if you're coming from this kind of energy, like feeling betrayed by the universe, almost losing hope, because there's all this shit on your mind that probably is coming from other people more than from yourself, then you got to make that judgment call. And this is you. This is you adopting that energy and using it for your own good. It's like, if I can't be that Mother of Pentacles for you, then I'm gonna be that Mother of Wands, and I'm gonna fucking move on, because I deserve better than this, right? It doesn't have to be so aggressive. It doesn't have to be so aggressive, to tell you that. But coming from this kind of energy, that is it, yeah, that it's in reverse like this, coming from this kind of energy, then realizing you have to set yourself free, but you don't know exactly how. Well, of course that Mother of Wands is going to lash out, right? That Mother of Wands doesn't, like, it doesn't care anymore, right? It's like, I'm over this shit, I need to get out of this, not putting up with your bullshit anymore. I need someone I can truly share with. And you're healing that, and the only way of healing that is by moving onto calmer shores, right? Is by getting your ass up and going to different places, not engaging in the conversation that is hurting you, right? But rather going somewhere where you know you find like-minded people that you can share your, like, and it doesn't even have to be people like, I believe Libra was it, where I was like, maybe they had the Six of Swords. I was like, maybe it's a good book. Maybe you find understanding in going to your happy place into a book, right? So it doesn't exactly have to be physical travel, but you have to get your mind out of this toxic environment, right? And there's no devil in here, right? It's not exactly about the devil energy. Also, it is about toxicity, though, because that's quite toxic, right? Well, you're getting there. You're getting there, and it's actually being in a Mother of Wands yourself. It's like dope, man. Like you're like on steroids, right? Your ego on coke. That can be a Mother of Wands, where you're like, fuck that shit. I deserve better. You know. Well, on coke would probably be a Father of Wands, because coke is like the most masculine drug of all, right? Very, very progressive, all like pulling you into the ego, right? Yeah, LSD is a different thing, or whatever, all the psychedelics, they get you out of ego into feeling connected, But that's why I cluster them into like feminine and masculine drugs, and alcohol, and especially coke are a masculine fucking drug, right? So I excuse that reference, but this is kind of like the Mother of Wands energy is like very much like it's a little narcissistic in a good way now here, because it's freeing you, right? It's giving you that recognition yourself that you're kind of missing from your environment. But it seems that it's not easy for you to let that environment go, because judgment, Six of Swords, Seven of Wands, even a Three of Cups, and like they're all in reverse, right? But the cards that are going to set you free, the only thing upright is Temperance. So you're still in that healing. It's like, okay, I'm not ready to move yet. Well, when are you going to be, right? If you're waiting until you're ready, probably going to wait forever. Like, let me tell you, these energies, and especially this one, and you're like, you don't have hope, you don't have big dreams anymore, that sounds like you're ready to move. To me, that sounds like you're very, very ready, like you're overdue to get yourself out of whatever is causing you to attach to a sense of it's not going to happen anyway, to attach to other people's bullshit, to that overthinking mode. Because yeah, overthinking is not a good thing if you're getting into a downward spiral through it, you know. I love thinking. Overthinking is a problem. I'm just saying it's not going to stop from telling someone not to overthink, right? Fucking amazing that people actually think that. I mean, like, yeah, is that? Do you ever go to a psychologist? Psychologist looks at you, just like, I believe there's a there's a joke, even like a comedy bit, where it's just like, um, usually, like, yeah, girl coming into a psychiatrist's office, and he's like, usually takes me 5 minutes, and then the session starts, and he's just like, okay, so what's your problem? Okay, now stop it. Like, yes, just stop it, just stop it. That's his lesson. That's like, no, it doesn't work that way. Of course, that's why it's a comedy bit, but this is not gonna stop from just telling yourself to stop it. No, it's gonna stop when you set yourself free. You're starting to trust your own judgment again, that this is not going anywhere, that you have to move somewhere where intellectualism is actually a positive thing, right? Because it seems like you're in the wrong community for sharing those complex thoughts. People might appreciate you having them, but not exactly understanding them. Catch my drift, right? So they mean well, they maybe even listen to you, but you know all the way you're talking 20 minutes for yourself, right? And they're just like, just seeing your enthusiasm. If that is so, that's at least a good energy to be in. Even though it's not intellectually nurturing, it is emotionally nurturing. If someone actually pays attention to you, even though they don't understand a fucking word of what you're saying, and they're just excited that you're excited, that's actually a good energy to be in. I just don't see it on the table. What I see on the table is you as like, it's not gonna happen anyway, because they're all just fighting all the time, and I don't believe it's gonna happen anymore, right? But whatever this is, I'm not standing for it either. So this is the beginning of you realizing you have to move out of this. You're healing into moving out of this, and that is a good thing. So now let's dial that back a little. It is about Aries and Chiron, like Aries bringing forth the wounds that Chiron defines in our life. And that is a very profound sense of, like, even embarrassment or trigger points, a sense of identity that is rooted in pain, you know, like this idea of family being a burden, or like having big dreams makes you less likely to fail them, and that kind of idea, right? So that kind of betrayal here. So it seems very much that this is coming to light, and you are in a good energy to be for this to happen, right? That Mother of Wands, she might be a little ego driven, but that's exactly what you need for this. It's a strong ego, a strong sense of self, something that can fight this idea that you're attached to of abundance not being possible, right? Then you have an abundance of thoughts that are not helpful. Well, seems like this is a very interesting phase for you, Aquarius. I do believe you're going to manage quite well, right? This is like handling Chiron coming from an Aries energy, like being able to face that confrontation. Handling Chiron is like digging deep in the subconscious. It is a full moon also. It's leading up to an eclipse season where shit is going to be tabula rasa, you know? It's like, this is very pivotal. So this is going deep. No reason to feel like you have to fix yourself. No, 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 no. Basically, you have fixed yourself, and that's why you have the strength to take such a close look into what motivates you and why you're kind of stuck in such destructive patterns. It's not that you have to fix yourself. No, no, no. It is that you built up the strength and the wisdom to realize when it's good to be in a Mother of Wands and to fight for yourself. And probably it's going to take you some time to set yourself free, probably the 2 weeks. But I guess, yeah, I mean, the energy is delayed. You know you got to move sooner or later, but the energy is delayed. So it probably falls into eclipse season where things are falling apart, and then you realize, okay, now it's time. Now that structures are giving up or that tables are turning or whatever, now it's time, right? That could be it. That is going to take you 2 weeks to make that decision, and you're um, still owning. Well, you're making that decision now, and you're owning it for 2 weeks until you put the consequences into action, right? So you're basically holding on to that fire energy where you're like, yeah, but no, like I used to, but I don't want to listen now. I'm sorry, I have plans, you know, that kind of energy. So yeah, it's a very good fucking energy. It's about healing, and it might not be as fast as you want it to be, but it's probably as fast as it's going to go for something that is so rooted deeply in your character. It's a beautiful energy. I don't want to scare you off. No, no, no. This is like high level shit to deal with right here, right? Like, especially when it's truly about family issues, right? Where you're moving from a mother into a mother, right? From a nurturing mother, or not wanting to be a nurturing mother, into an enraged and empowered mother, in a sense, with that family card in reverse in your identity spot. It's like, yeah, that is some deep shit. And to be able to tackle something like that means you're in a very, very mature energy. You've learned a lot, you're very capable, and you're making that decision once you know it's time, once you feel ready for it, once the tides have turned here with this Wheel of Fortune. Because right now, the universe is taking a bit of that energy out from that Mother of Wands, because you have to grow into that role. You have to trust your own judgment to make that call. But you're gonna, and you're gonna free yourself from that impaired idea of what is achievable in life. That is beautiful. Aquarius, I hope that made some sense to you, that resonated with you and actually empowered you. I mean, that is some There's some tough shit that you're manifesting here, but I believe you're managing quite well. No reason to be afraid of this. The opposite is the case. This is going to be pivotal and very empowering for you and your individual character. So look forward to this. That much I can tell you, right? Like you've been in there for way too long, and now it's time to realize what has to shift and start working on that, shifting that. So it's going to be very empowering, especially in the end. But even through this process, you're going to feel very empowered, I believe. So, Aquarius, if that resonates with you, drop a comment, like, and subscribe. Check out daywalker-bali.com and daywalker-bali.shop. There's something I'm working on. It's not up yet, but you can register for the newsletter so I can keep you updated when the shop goes online. And it's gonna like bring all the Bali brands together. That is the dream, right? So I have the spiritual, like the exclusive spiritual brands all over Bali on one platform, so you can pick and choose what totems and fashion and whatever you want to identify with. That is going to be a big fucking thing, and I'm gonna work on it right after I finish here these readings. And yeah, thank you for watching. Thank you so much for being with me. Take it easy. It's gonna be fine. And Aquarius, I love you.